Hello guys! As we bid goodbye to year 2023, let's welcome 2024 with a peace of mind and preparedness on your business compliance. So for today's video, we will discuss related matters about business permit renewal, why businesses needs to renew their permits, how to process, what are the requirements, and the relevant cost for permit renewal. So I hope to share with you some tips, so please stay tuned until we finish the discussion. Month of January is always a crucial time for business owners due to this renewal process. It is a must, a responsibility, and a government compliance for having a business. Traditionally, business permit renewal is from January 1 to January 20 of every year. This deadline applies regardless of your date of registration. But just to note, there are cities extending deadlines beyond January 20 depends on their ordinances. Scope of business permit is on a calendar basis. So even if kaka-register mo lang ng December, you need to secure again your permit for January. Revenue earned is not also a relevant factor in determining whether to renew or not. With or without a commercial operation, as long as you are a registered business, you will be required to renew your permit. A reason why many entrepreneurs choosing not to register within the last quarter of the year to avoid or minimize permit costs. Who are required to renew their permits every year? As mandated, all businesses in the Philippines unless exempt are required to process permit renewal to operate legally. Importantly, this is applicable irrespective of the type of entity under which a business is operating, from individual consultant or the so-called freelancers, the sole proprietorship category, all types of partnership, and all corporations such as OPC, regular corporations, and non-stock corporations. If you are operating or intending to operate any form of business, it is important to ensure that you have considered your obligation to obtain a business permit during the initial registration and then maintain and renew your permit every year. Here is the list of the permits that you need to renew. From barangay level, city hall, and BIR office. Let's start with the freelance or self-employed individual. They need to pay the so-called occupational or professional tax receipt under the city hall. And for the BIR level, they need to prepare and submit to their client the so-called sworn statement of income declaration. Just to note, effective January 2024, the BIR ceased collecting the annual registration fee amounting 500 pesos. This is mandated by the Republic Act 11976, the Ease of Paying Taxes Act. Sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporation have the same list of permits that needs to be renewed. Under the barangay, they need to secure the barangay clearance and plate. From the city hall, they need to secure an updated mayor's permit and license, the community tax certificate or the so-called cedula, comprehensive general liability insurance or the so-called CGLI, sanitary permit, CENRO or the Community Environment and National Resource Office certificate, the zoning clearance certificate, and lastly, the fire safety inspection certificate. From this listing of permits, we will highlight the detailed list of requirements and specific processes per taxpayer category. To start with, let's highlight processing of individual and freelance renewal. As discussed, individual consultant or freelancer are the so-called individual who receive personal income from their practice of profession, skills, and expertise with or without a license from a ruling board. To render their service legally, they should secure an updated permits every year. To process permit renewal, freelancers should ready the following requirements. Number 1, the previous copy of their OTR or PTR. Second, their valid identification card. Third, their copy of BIR registration or the so-called 2303. And lastly, the declaration of their earning from preceding year. To process the renewal process for freelancer, you need to consider the following steps. Number 1, preparation of the soaring statement income declaration on or before January 15. This particular document shall be prepared by individual whose revenue in a taxable year do not exceed the 3 million threshold. This should be submitted to their client with a copy of their certificate of registration. This compliance shall be made in order for them to be qualified for the lower tax rate of BIR or the so-called 8% gross income tax. And here's the sample of sworn statement of income declaration. Furthermore, on or before January 31, you need to pay your occupational and professional tax receipt. Just visit your city hall and proceed to the miscellaneous fees and other charges office. And thus conclude the streamlined process for the self-employed individual. It will be better to process your renewal on time rather than by skipping or delaying the renewal process, which will result to an additional cost. While permit renewal for individual consultant or freelancer involves short list of requirement and step, processing for sole proprietor, partnership and corporation renewal may be more lengthy and taxing. To go over, processing sole proprietor, partnership and corporation applies the same requirements and process because they have the same list of permits and taxes to be renewed. Let's start with the listing of requirement for government agency. Number 1, under the barangay, they need to prepare the following. Number 1, yung copy of barangay clearance and receipt from previous year. And for some barangay located under a village, some LGUs will require a certification sa kanilang homeowners association. And second, the next agency requiring renewal is the City Hall. Presented here are the requirements to be prepared. Number 1 on the list is the copy of your business registration. Kung ikaw ay isang sole proprietor, you need to prepare and ready your copy of your DTI certificate. Sa mga partnership and all types of corporation, they need to prepare a copy of their articles of incorporation from the SEC. And lastly, for cooperative, they need to prepare a copy of their Co-op Development Authority Accreditation Certificate. The second requirement are proof of company earnings as follows. Number 1, the audited copy of your financial statement from prior year. Second, certificate of cross receipt from preceding year to be signed by the company president or treasurer. Third are the BIR tax forms such as VAT or percentage tax returns. The next set of requirement will be coming from your lessor, an updated lease contract or a certificate of tenancy. The fourth set of requirements are copies of prior permits as follows. Number 1, mayor's permit and official receipt. Second, prior year tax bill assessment. Third, copy of your community tax certificate or the so-called cedula. Fourth, the copy of the official receipt or insurance policy of your CGLI. Fifth, the recent official receipt and fire safety insurance certificate. Next, the copy of your locational or zoning permit. And lastly, the copy of your CENRO certificate. The next set of requirements is for processing your sanitary permit. Number 1 on the list is your employee's original copy of complete annual medical result. Second, for all building tenants, they will require a copy of the water microbiological analysis and pest control report. You may request this particular document to your lessor. And for those subscribing under a virtual office, they may require to submit an affidavit of working from home to be exempted from the documentary requirement. And lastly, for some LGU, they will require the following special requirement. Number 1, updated copy of the real property declaration from your lessor. And second, for the co-op, they will require a certificate of good standing. Third on the list, if you are using a representative, they will require a copy of notarized SPA or secretary certificate. And for those business with no operation or no revenue, they will require an affidavit of no operation and no revenue. And the last possible requirement to be requested is a listing of your employee as of the preceding year. And if no employee yet, an affidavit of no employee will be requested instead. And that's it. That's the long list of requirements needs to be prepared. As a reminder, requirements may vary from one LGU to other. To provide you a better guide, we have expanded the listing based on our experience in handling business renewal. And to finally complete your business permit renewal, here's the 4 worry-free process in general. Step 1. Fill out the application renewal forms. Second, compile and submit all necessary requirements. Third, pay the requisite fees. Step 4. Receiving your business permit once approved. As introduced from prior years, there are cities already applied the online process for renewal of permits as an ease of doing business here in the Philippines. Some guide or reminder on each steps are as follows. For the step 1, application forms can be downloadable to LGU official website. To ease the process, you may already complete the specified forms before visiting the LGU office. Ensure that all information that you write down is true and free from errors and discrepancies. Recheck all information before final submission to avoid any tedious hassle and amending mistakes. For some guide and reference, we have provided link where you can download the application form for some cities on the particular of this video. As a reminder for step 2, as listed, please make sure that you have completed all the requirements before visiting the LGU office to save time and for your errands to be efficient. In addition, your LGU may require additional requirements, so it will be better to start the renewal process ahead of the due date. For the step 3, upon submission of the complete requirements, you will be given a tax bill assessment for payment. Average timeline for this will be 1-2 banking days, depends on the existing bulk application received during a day. A reason why it will always wise to process the renewal days before the deadline. To help you understand the required fees indicated on your tax bill, let's highlight some major line items. Number 1, the license fee. The license fee will be based on your gross earning. It is the local business tax based on your gross sales or receipts. Each LGU have a unique ways in computing this line item, but it comprises 3 layers. Number 1, a combination of a graduated fixed and percentage business taxes. Second, percentage tax. And lastly, a fixed annual tax. The second group of fees are the so-called mayor's permit and other regulatory fees and charges that are usually charged as a fixed amount by LGUs, such as environmental, sanitary inspection, medical, building inspection, mechanical, fire permit, sticker, and form fee. The above fees are different per LGU. For mayor's permit, it will cost you 1,000 to 4,000 pesos, while the other miscellaneous charges will cost you 200 to 500 pesos per year. The next fee that you can see in your tax bill assessment is the so-called Community Tax Certificate or the cedula. And the basis for the computation for this amount are as follows. One of the requirements of the LGU is to secure a comprehensive general liability insurance. This policy affords protection to various types of establishment against financial and legal liabilities. The cost depends on the number of square meter of your premise, and as a sample computation are as follows. The last fee is the so-called barangay clearance. For some LGU, the barangay clearance are now integrated and processed under the BPLO office. You do not need to secure this separately from the barangay. And the cost of barangay clearance will be ranging 500 to 1,000 or more, depends on any LGU. And the costs mentioned are just for your reference. As mentioned, all fees, Basis of computation will be depending on your LGU. Securing permit from one LGU may be less cost compared to others. The fourth step under the renewal is the receiving of your business permits. Once you paid your required renewal fees, submitted your requirements, you will then be scheduled to claim your original permits for the next days. And that's conclude the renewal process. You may feel at ease. Accomplishing the process of getting a business permit can be a daunting task. However, it is essential to all businesses because it can save you from legal, tax, and financial problem in the future. Having an up-to-date business permit also helps you build trust and good reputation from your clients, partners, and the government. Skipping or delaying your business permit renewal entails the following penalties: a 25% surcharge of the business assessed tax, plus additional 2% penalty of every month. The worst is the possible closure and seizure of your properties and assets for cases of extreme delinquency. But that this guide helps you meet your business obligations in time. If you need anything else, please feel free to leave your comments below so we can address as soon as we can. Let's start 2024 on a high note. Thank you for watching.